Yeah, I mean, hard-fought ball game. Nigeria's good. Defense is fast. They swing it. Everything we thought they'd be, it was. Now it's about game 2, and that's always the situation when you get to Super Regional and the 2 out of 3. And so we got to make some adjustments. And excited about our chances to get after a game tomorrow.
Question?
I think she only threw 79 pitches. Do you try to work counts? Can you not work counts against somebody who's that good?
Yeah, I mean, I think game 1, I mean, if you can get in game 2, maybe game 3, maybe you start to spread the zone a little bit more and make her throw a few more pitches. I mean, she obviously is really good pitching for a reason. She's, up and into the righties and started throwing the changeup a little bit more early in the game. So then you kind of had to pick one or the other. And so that's, the thing we've got to think tomorrow, when we get in there is like, are we going to get a little more strategic on, trying to maybe look the changeup or look something away, or we could get another pitcher to could not be Nigeria, So, I think that's where you got to get strategy on that side. But, I mean, good for her on that side. That was very efficient on her side. And, I think now we've got to figure out how we go game plan too. Yeah.
Michaela, how effective was she at just mixing up speeds and locations?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about the overall pitch count being like late 70s, so that's pretty good. That's a really efficient ball game. I think she did a great job pumping strikes, and if we flip the script a little bit on our end of our standard, we try to get leadoff outs really often just because it really stops the opponent's momentum, and that's exactly what she did to us. I believe she got 5 out of 7 innings of the leadoff out. The only inning being mine, I think in the 4th or 5th, I started off with a walk-in Katie Dack with her single there at top of the bottom of the 7th, excuse me. But I think on that end, it's about like our compete and like how are we truly selling out first batter, first pitch, and just looking forward to the adjustments we make tomorrow.
It seemed like there were a lot of foul ball outs in this game. Was that more because you were trying to, I guess I should direct this to someone, Michaela? Or anyone can answer, I guess. Yeah. Is that more because you were just being late on some of those pitches, or not being able to barrel her up as well, or what do you kind of attribute that to, or was it just bad luck? Yeah,
I mean, and when you're throwing a heavy velo like that, like it's decision making to swing or not is like very, very minimal time there. So on that end, and she was throwing a lot of strikes, got to swing at it, and with that type of velo, we're talking just 0.1 of a second is just like a little bit off to get a foul, like a pop-up. So I think on that end, the adjustments just being made, like if we can work on being a little bit more on top versus like the pop-outs, the foul pop-ups that are closer like in the infield, and see if we can get a little driven more out towards the outfield and feel from there.
Lonni, I know the game unwinds the way it's going to unwind, but do you like the fact that you've shown them several different looks and they didn't lock in on one person, or how do you feel about pitching kind of going into the rest of the season?
I mean, we pitched by committee all season long, so I don't, we weren't going to do anything different at this point. We knew that they were a big strikeout team and they're going to put the ball in play, so we had to give some different looks. And I don't think we've overshowed too much, and I mean, we are who we are at this point. You're not really hiding so much. You're just going out and trying to compete and play. And so yeah, I think we got comfortable out there. I mean, Ashley's been in situations like that before, but I think Julie came out there was pretty comfortable, and Anna's pretty comfortable, or Annabelle's pretty comfortable. So, still have Jazzy to go to, if we want to get her out there and get some looks there and mix some speed. So yeah, I mean, it's me versus you at this point, and tomorrow it is grit time and our backs are against the wall and we got to go compete, so just not hiding a whole lot on that.
Michaela, you talked about going into the postseason, handling the pressure that comes with it being your last time around. With backs against the wall going into tomorrow, how do you process that, handle it, channel it into a good manner for the game?
I think first things first, we need to accept today's loss and learn from it. And I think the only way to truly go for that is the acceptance piece. Like, we can't go back in time, and to be present, to live in every single moment tomorrow, like, that's what's going to have to take for us to get the win. All 21 of us being present and just like accepting our process for what it is. If we're getting hard ground balls, like, that's a win, and like, we're just trying to celebrate all the little things, because we know that it takes one swing, one pitch during a ball game to make the difference. So
I said, you guys aren't in this position very often. How do you feel like you guys are going to come back in the locker room, bounce back as far as your mental state and also emotional state?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just like what Mick just said. I mean, accept it and kind of move on. We have a lot of information on them, and just outsmart them and just do what we do and continue to do what we do regardless of who they put out there tomorrow.
Yeah. I want to touch back on like being a senior piece. Like you can either be afraid and live afraid and choose to be that way, but more likely than not, you're going to regret feeling that way and being in that moment that way. So I think just as a reminder, like what I usually tell between like Christina, like it's all out here from now on, and that's the best way to live, because I'd rather live knowing I gave every moment out on the ball field like my all. So
That's tomorrow.
yeah, sorry. I still get emotional.
Any other questions?
Good.
Last thing, just like, did you feel, I mean, obviously Kennedy deserves a ton of credit, but did you feel like your approaches were where they need to be, or is that something that you guys gonna get better with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously get better with, as we go through it. She's pretty efficient, but I mean, we prepped all week, well, our one day of practice all week because we have the Thursday game. So, but I mean, she's good. Like, she's good. So it's not like you're going to go prep and be able to knock her around the yard. Like, you got to get in there. And I think in the beginning, maybe we were a little bit like, oh, here it is. This is what we prepped for versus like, here it is. Let's get after it. So that maybe could be a little mindset difference. But, it's a little bit of a unicorn pitch. When you're talking 70 to 73 miles an hour, you don't see that every day. And it's got up and it's got sweep and it's got all kinds of movement. So I think, everyone's like, hey, you practice hit it. It's just not that easy to do. So now that we've got some chances at it and they're flipping some change-ups too, like now you have to make decisions. Which one do you want? Now you're talking sitting pitches, against someone that's pretty elite. So, so we went out there, we definitely put it to the test. We tried it. Now tomorrow we got to be a little bit better at it, So, yeah, so I definitely think that, when we get back in here tomorrow and we just kind of work on our scouting, we'll have a different plan, and you just got to go for it. And, like I said, backs against the wall and get after it. So, yeah.
Is it tougher to have the short game against somebody who goes with that rise ball? Because I saw you had in the 5th inning where you had first and second with 1 out. Is it harder to ask somebody to try to bunt her over because you know that it's going to be a rise ball?
I think it becomes the tools of your players at that point, right? So I probably wouldn't have Michaela bunting in that situation, So it's like your players' tools at that point and what they're going to do.
I think about it.
So, like I just, I think that whatever presents at the time, and then you've got to try to use, And yeah, it's 70 up, like it's hard to get on top of something like that. So, but I mean. Again, when you have to have decisions in a plan when you're going in there. So you definitely see some lefties trying to get after it. We had some unfortunate balls kick off a leg, and it's just softball today. There was just some things that just went softball's way, and we've got to put our head in a pillow tonight and get after a grinder tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate
Yep. Yep.